Welcome. Take It Up with Jessica Lee. I'm here with Aarti Bharathan, who is Senior Director of Product Management at PayPal. Welcome to the show, Aarti.
Thank you, Jessica. Thank you for having me here.
Yeah, I would love to talk to you about this PayPal e-commerce platform and how massive it touches the world, and you're involved in the whole innovation of this platform.
Yeah. No, thank you. When we think about just commerce and what we can enable, right, with a holistic end-to-end commerce platform, right, it's really about enabling e-commerce platforms, enabling destination platforms. Now we have destination platforms that are marketplaces where people can now sell goods and they don't even have to be near each other, right? But now it's also expanding to freelancing, it's expanding to services, it's expanding to the gig economy. And I have platforms where there's a piano teacher who's out of Poland, the students maybe here in the Bay Area, but they're connecting and they're learning, and the piano teacher's actually earning a living.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
The power, the impact.
Yeah.
And PayPal has, it's like a multi-billion-dollar business. Just in one quarter, your revenue is over $4 billion.
Yeah.
And this platform is really that foundation platform that powers a lot of other products.
Yeah. So, the commerce platform sits on top of a lot of the goodness that PayPal has been building and enabling in the last couple decades, right? And it really builds on the network that PayPal has with, buyers in 200 countries and sellers in 150 countries, and really enabling that kind of commerce globally, along with risk management and fraud protections that come with it. And so when you're bringing together a really easy to integrate platform, it builds on top of all of this goodness that PayPal already has.
I want to touch on this, what you said is the international markets, right? 200 countries of sellers and buyers. So when you go to market, obviously it's a software play, but you've got to have people on the ground to be promoting and selling the platform. How do you pick the right partners in these countries where there are cultural differences?
Yeah, that's fascinating. And I look back, and the products that I've built at PayPal all have this very much global and international reach. And if we take countries, if you look at UK or Australia versus Japan, it's very different cultures, right? And if you've got a partner, you're really looking for a partner that has the same goals as yourself, right? Which means they're looking at the same customer, right? And they're looking to sell products to this customer as a go-to-market partner. And then if they have to also promote or sell your product, then they have the same goals and sort of incentives as yourself, right? So having that alignment in there is really important, because you're leaning on them to really bring that local flavor.
Right. How about the process of selling? Even though you have the same customer and you have the right incentives in place, sometimes it's not going to necessarily work out.
Yeah. And that happens, right? In my experience, we've had cases where we've picked partners, or they may be really, we think that they really understand and we're very aligned. Then we find out that just the regional ways or local ways in which things are done are not aligned, right? Someone may be really good at selling or promoting the product in a face-to-face manner. It could be that our product is more suited for an internet audience. Now, how do you bridge that gap? How do you communicate that? Right, so understanding these in a very nuanced manner is important. And then if you look at cash economies versus card economies, or face-to-face transactions versus online transactions, there's things like a sense of trust that comes in. And so again, it's not just go to market, it's how you're thinking about even the product and how you may have to nuance it and customize it to really make sense in a local country.
Now, you've studied computer science, undergrad and master's degree, that you've always been on the product side, the engineering side. Your career journey, how did you pick? Like, did you have a strategy, or do you have career advice for those who are interested in this area?
So I would say, some of it was just accidental. But what I realized when I was actually doing my master's degree, and I did have an opportunity to do my PhD, was the actual research aspect of understanding what is truly the problem and figuring out what might be a great way to solve the problem was what fascinated me a lot. Right? My problem in my research master's was around how can someone, have data access when they're switching from a Wi-Fi network to a cellular network. Right? It is a very practical problem that people have, and so that was when I realized that product management was something that was very fascinating. And so I was lucky to actually be recruited out of college into product management at Microsoft, and learned a lot from there. But I would say, the things that really stick for me, and, if I ask myself, well, why do you get up? Right? Why do you make the choices that you make? Right? It's around the kind of impact that products that I'm building will have. And then, products which are very much the pragmatic, everyday products that we use. Right? They really make a difference. They make our lives easier.
Right. For the consumers.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly. And so, whether it was working on the backbone of the internet at Microsoft, or building some of the earliest maps applications.
The GPS is very important.
Exactly, right? You need to know how to go from place A to place B and manage traffic.
And we're dependent on that now, So.
Exactly. And then payments. I mean, money. After our family and kids, money is the most important thing, right? And then when you think about global commerce, the fact that products that I'm enabling will help someone, who's in Asia. They might have been like the street vendor who was just selling scarves, and now they're selling it online
to the whole world.
Right? They're growing their own livelihood. Right. Maybe their kid can now go to university. Right? Opportunities just open up.
That's right. Yeah. So you give them access to the global market.
Yes.
You're breaking down barriers.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
So that's very motivating.
It is immensely motivating.
Yeah. What trends are you seeing now that you've been in product for a while and you're touching all these consumer products actually, and you're seeing the growth? Where do you see new opportunities?
So, we see a lot of research coming in about millennials and Gen Zs and how the work culture is changing. Right? Even this morning, I was reading that baby boomers maybe change their jobs or their roles 5 times. Right? Millennials might change that 15 times. But where is a lot of this change happening? At least, what I've observed is in the last decade, most of the economic growth has happened in that services and the gig economy sector. Right? Which means, we're having people really bringing into that sharing economy talent that they have, right? Some things that they may have. It's also way more global. Right? We used to think about e-commerce as just buying goods over the internet, but now it's freelancing. Right? It used to be where you would just offshore, a big company would offshore something over there, but now you're having a family that's looking at a piano teacher in Poland. Right? It's really becoming, while it's global, it's really coming down to the individual level, where people are really, breaking down those borders, breaking down barriers.
Yeah, and the distance too. You're
Yes.
collapsing all of that.
Yes.
That's wonderful. I mean, you're right. There's a lot of folks are working full time, but also doing a side job, and the
Yes.
internet opens up that store for them.
Exactly.
And then for those who are maybe not working full time, but just looking for a part time opportunity with flexibility and their own ability to control time.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter where they are anymore. Right? So it opens up the world for people to travel and work in different places, to experience different cultures.
Okay.
Yes. It also, I think, brings more women into the economy.
Yes. I'm going to ask about challenges then. What do you face now in your job? What do you face in the role that you're in?
I think, when I look at what we have to do ahead of us, right, there is so much in terms of just globalizing products. It's very easy to kind of build products for one market and understanding one culture, right? But if I have to think about what does it mean to launch a product in China,
in 200 countries.
Yes, right. So many economies are just growing. That means just having the right mindset, having the right partnerships, really thinking about how we can bring in Europe, where regulation is very different, for instance, from the US, and then thinking about how to connect someone in Europe with someone in Asia. It's really globalizing products and making them available at scale, which is always something you think about in the back of your mind.
Now you have 2 kids, and you've been working full time. Do you have a stay-at-home dad?
No. My husband works full time, and we both travel almost alternately. And so I would, I never thought I would be leading that life where I'm traveling and traveling internationally after kids. I thought I would be, kind of the dialed back parent.
So how do you balance work and life?
I think a couple things. One is my partner is super supportive, right? Really understands that, yes, it's important to be a very hands-on parent. I'm very involved. And then I have a lot of help. And I look at it and I feel like it takes a village, right? And my family isn't that close by, but it's everyone from nannies who I've had for years, right, to friends, neighbors. We make many choices about where we live and who we are bonded with. In fact, school is out. I am here today talking with you, and my son is at our neighbor's place playing.
That's great. I think it's a challenge
Yes.
in the Bay Area that both parents are working and constantly struggling with childcare and work-life balance and the equality between the men and women in the household.
No, absolutely. But I would say again and again that it's important to stay in and to feel really that you're making a difference, to pick the right things for you. Right? Because you're making a choice. There will be days where you'll have that sick kid and you're going to feel so guilty. But when you know that what you're doing is important to you and you see that it's actually making a difference, then you're going to give your 100%. And that's going to result in your career being successful, your kids actually seeing that, yes, here is my mom who's really working and making a difference.
Passionate in what she does.
Passionate, yes. right? You're ultimately a role model for so many people.
Yes. Well, this has been a great conversation, Aarti. Thank you for coming onto the show to talk about PayPal, commerce platform, your thoughts on the work-life balance and career, and also understanding the challenges of globalizing a product.
Yeah. Thank you.
It's been a great conversation.
Likewise.
There you have it. Take it up with Jessica Lee, Aarti Bharathan from PayPal.